Hi, good afternoon. My name is Oscar Martinez. My career is visual art. For my project, I decided to make a self-portrait. A portrait for Latin retractis. It's mostly a picture of or effigy of a person. Also, we can understand it like a description of physical or moral qualities about the person features. Therefore, the first definition of portrait refers to the plastic expression of a person to imitation of the himself or herself, which happening in painting, photography, and sculpture. The face and the expression predominate in portrait. It's one to show the likeness, personality, and even the mood of human. For this reason, in photography, a portrait isn't a simple photo, otherwise a complex picture of the person in a quiet position. And now, what were the materials I used on my painting project? The material were primary color acrylic plus white and black and raw painting brushes, soft bristles, wet palette, and brown craft paper roll. The technique I use is acrylic. This technique is usually used by nude artists like me because its composition facilitates mixing of some pigment and to dry in a few minutes help in the use of layer without wiring. Too long between creation of each of them. Too different of the oil paint, which usually takes days and even months. The beginning of this artistic technique was in Mexico in the 20s when an artist group, between there Diego Rivera, wanted to paint huge mural on public buildings upside so that they need a material capable of resisting whatever inclemency of the weather. The oil paint couldn't meet this requirement. These artists need a quick drying paint and it was resistant for long years on the outside too. It already exists, but the acrylic was used by industry, not of artistical way. My experience. My teacher took a picture of use which we use for this art process. It is a way to evaluate our level of observation to emulate color of the photography, not to mention our diving skin. One of the first steps in the process it is realization of a linear drawing of the portrait or outline drawing in this case of my face. In the beginning, I was nervous because it was my first time painting so big dimension. It was afraid that for being so big, the features are distorted and it doesn't look like me. Consequently, I made measurements and put guideline around else paper to be the closest to the reality and try that portrait doesn't lose identity. When I was satisfied with the result, I took my sketch to the class. My teacher looked at it and they asked him if I could to change the background for something psychedelic. However, ha, however, he denied my asking because according to him it was not appropriate. That day, I made my first process in class and I got the approval of my teacher, so I following painting in my house. That weekend, I did another event. Already, I have ended with the half of the face saved, right? But I have trouble. The dust take that help the craft paper on the wall didn't support the why then my craft paper fell unbroken. So I begin again in the second chance. I did the facial structure merge details. I already know the reason of the paper which the acrylic because of the I managed to resume to the progress I lost. After finish the skin, the layer, I continued with the ace I heard. However, I have to ignore a little the process to do the background of it and to finish the hair details and the accessories in my ears. I use the softer bristle brush for the phone in the clothes. The truth of it, I took too long on this project. I thought I would be faster, but it noticed me that to progress in details of my pain. Each time the portrait was more realistic and more like my physical appearance. Then almost 3 weeks, I can say that if ended my pain and I'm happy with the results. Important. English not only helps to be a best artist, it is a necessary tool to enter in the arts commercial sphere. Do it, due to it is dominated by Europe and United States. As an artist, I think it's important to enter in the international scenario, even to get a recognition in your own country. I gotta go. Bye bye.